Hello there. This is the Coffee and Controller podcast. We are here without Yasin once again. I'm Shadley.
I'm Saeed.
I'm Brad.
And yeah, what have you guys been up to this past week? That's the sign. Oh, bro's been working too hard.
Not only that, it's the sign of someone who saw Captain America: Brave New World.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we heard your initial thoughts. Has it changed since then?
It has not changed since then. I've had the weekend to reflect on what I saw, and it's not good. I did not enjoy. I enjoyed maybe like a quarter of the film. Like the rest of it, I was actively going, "What the fuck?" Like it wasn't like, so I'm sure by now people have heard the controversy. Not the controversy. Well, there is controversy, but just the fact that it's not great. Like,
yeah,
and the thing that
is bad.
Yeah, the thing that really annoys me about it is that like it feels like a mid-tier Marvel film. It feels like they didn't give it as much respect as it should have gotten because it's Captain America 4. You know what I mean? Like
it's supposed to have like a bit more prestige to it.
Exactly. And so basically, like after the film, I wanted to sit down, like literally from the cinema, I wanted to sit down here on set and record like a review. And I did actually record it, but I didn't release it because like it was just the ramblings of a madman. Like
I just imagine that.
The movie damaged him psychologically.
It really did.
That hurt him.
He's not the same
No.
anymore.
He's hurt. Like he had to project his feelings on camera to get it out.
But I found myself relying too much on like filmmaking criticisms, which is fair, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes down to it.
Yeah, it's a film. But at the end of the day, I stopped and I was like, okay, but like it's also just a film for fans and people don't care about the filmmaking tropes or whatever. But some people might watch the film and go, I don't know what was wrong with it, but something was wrong with it. And what I think it was mainly is, and I think there were like 6 credited writers on this film.
Yeah, and there were 4 rounds of reshoots on this film.
There were, yeah, and you can tell.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
Which sounds like they didn't know what they were doing.
Exactly. And so basically you can tell there were 6 fucking writers on this film because it almost feels like every scene or maybe every set piece of this film was written by a different person and then stitched together.
No.
It feels like a whole bunch of scenes stitched together instead of one coherent story going, there's a coherent story, but it doesn't feel like it fits. It doesn't feel like the next scene fits with the previous one.
It feels like different writers are writing to try and make it work.
Exactly. And then you can tell from the reshoots, like there's a lot of green screen stuff and obvious green screen stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm saying for Captain America 4, for an MCU film, you shouldn't be able to tell. You know what I mean? You can see that.
But I mean, if you're doing 4 rounds of reshoots, it's like how much time do they have, like the VFX team
100%.
to edit?
Yeah.
No, 100%. I
Probably
agree.
finished it like last week.
For sure.
They probably like exported and took the hard drive like on the night of the release.
Easily, yeah. So like, there's stuff like that. Like, I'm trying to skate around spoilers here. There aren't many like massive spoiler-worthy things in this film. What I will say is also this feels like a bit of Captain America 4 and a lot of The Incredible Hulk 2.
Yes, and that's what a lot of people have been saying.
Yeah.
It feels like a Hulk 2 film without being a Hulk.
Exactly. Because, I mean, the story, and we've also, I'm going by the trailer now, like the story is basically Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross is now the president, played by Harrison Ford, who was played by William Hurt, but he passed away before the filming started. And this, I said this in the review that I filmed last week, like that also took me out of it because it doesn't feel like the same character. However, that's not their fault. They had to recast him. You know what I mean? That's not their fault. Like,
I feel
Couldn't
like
they just have used a different character though? Like,
no.
they should have. Couldn't they have pivoted? Just
it wouldn't have worked for the story. I'll
So I think for like from the Red Hulk perspective, it's like that's who Red Hulk is.
Yeah.
But to me, it seems like they cast Harrison Ford because it's Harrison Ford.
Yes.
And not because he can pick up and so make it like that seamless transition. They were like...
Because they probably just asked him like, yeah, would you consider? And he was like, yeah. And they were like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I didn't think he was going to say yes.
We want a big name now to like swing for the audiences.
And what I will say, he is the best part of the film, Harrison Ford, his performance. Everyone else's performance seems so flat and like... lifeless. There are characters
4 rounds of reshoots. Man,
there are characters that like you almost feel like should have like they're so in the story already by the first time you see them. These are brand new characters. They've never been in Marvel before. But they're on screen or they are portrayed like they've been there forever. Fair enough. But like, I was like, there are two characters actually who are like the president, so Thunderbolts, like almost heads of security. But they are so lifeless. They are like, you don't give a solitary about these characters.
You could replace them with anybody.
Anyone. They could be anyone. And one of them is the controversial character that a lot of people have been talking about, which we won't go into. But like, and the other one is like his like head of like private security. So the woman who's like basically always following him around when he walks from room to room.
Yeah.
But she's so lifeless. Like, and I don't think this, once again, we don't like to like shit on performances that much. I think it was just an amateur director. And I looked through the director's credits. This is like their first massive film.
That's crazy.
And for Captain America 4, that's crazy, right? And it would have benefited from someone like the Russo brothers, their writing and their input.
Yeah.
And obviously they're busy with Avengers.
Even just like their writing, because like you're saying there's 6 writers, now you have like a young director.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's also trying to piece together what the hell the script is going on.
100%, yeah.
Like that's also, that's a lot. And you have to rein in all these actors and
yeah, exactly. And so like, there's acting performances, choices that were like very weird. Like, and I can't get over the fact that like the mouth is speaking, but the eyes are not emoting at all. It's like very like, oh no, Mr. President, he's gone to the next room. And I'm like, okay, like what? You're not selling terrible. That this is dangerous. You know what I mean? And then there's stuff like the fight scenes, which are like the hand-to-hand fight scenes, which Captain America is known for. I know this is once again, like, this has nothing to do with Sam being Captain America. And this has nothing to do with Anthony Mackie's performance because he's good. He's good at what he does. You know what I mean? Obviously.
Yeah, there's only so much he can do.
Exactly.
Also, like.
And, but anyway, and Captain America is very much like a hand-to-hand fighter. You know what I mean? Until it comes to like fighting the Red Hulk, for example, which you can't do hand-to-hand. But when there's like, you know, those like scenes where there's just henchmen coming at you and they're fighting hand to hand. Those scenes are so poorly done, poorly choreographed, poorly filmed, poorly edited. Like you can see the punch coming from a mile away, and then he's just like, it seems so slow and sluggish, but not in like a heavy-handed fighting
like,
way.
I'm trying to hit you hard.
It's just like,
and you know,
we'll
like
fix this in post kind of thing.
If you look at like Captain America, the Winter Soldier, some of the best like hand-to-hand in
so good
in the Marvel like cinematic universe.
Like that first fight with Captain America and Bucky in the street when they're like,
yes, like it's so fluid, it's well edited.
Yeah.
So you go like, that is kind of what you expect.
And they sold this movie almost as like another spy thriller, Manchurian Candidate kind of thing. It's not that. I'm sorry. It's just not that. The trailers sell a film, and I guess this is the job of a trailer, but the trailers sold a film that just was not shown in the cinema.
I mean, it is a film.
Yeah. It's a film with those characters. And what I will say as well is someone like there's no, in my opinion, there's no bad guy in this film. There's no bad. There are a couple of bad guys, but there's no threat.
There's no villain. Yeah.
There's no villain. Like, there is a villain, and I can spoil it if you guys want me to.
Isn't it?
It's the leader, yeah. He's the guy pulling the strings behind the scenes. I won't get too much into the story, but like, it's very flat. Like, he could have been, once again, any other villain.
Which is sad.
Yeah. And then there's like a secondary villain played by Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
Who is an amazing actor. He was in the trailers. I'm not giving anything away.
I heard about him.
He's in the movie for 7 minutes.
I've heard about
it. Just like his intro.
No, he was brought in the reshoots brought him into the film.
So apparently what happened was like in the original test screenings, the audiences didn't like react well to like the original casting for him for Sidewinder.
Okay.
And then they were like, okay, we'll bring somebody in, and they brought him in.
Yeah.
But it's like they did that just because of test audience, and you don't go like, oh, maybe we need to make the character
such a great actor that you waste.
Brilliant actor, but also like, with respect to him, right? He's a 60-something-year-old actor, right? He's going up against Anthony Mackie / Captain America.
Yeah, there's only so much you can sell in terms of that physicality.
Exactly. And like he's a good actor, and he's like that menacing presence, but he's not a threatening presence in the film either. But also he immediately gets bested in the film. You know what I mean? So like, and it's just like, it felt like they just chucked him in for the sake of chucking him in, not because it affected the story at all. And then you're like, okay, cool. Leader's not a threat. This guy's not a threat. Who's the bad guy?
Yeah.
And then I could go on and on, but
so isn't it like shouldn't they have kept Red Hulk hidden? Don't you think?
100%. That would have at least been one saving grace.
Yeah,
like, isn't that supposed to? Don't they like play it up as like a reveal in the movie? But you saw it in the trailer, so it's pointless.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you're overselling like your story, and now it's like there's no surprise.
Exactly. And there are things like throughout the film, this was another big criticism of mine. And now, because you go into the film, unless you haven't seen the trailers, you know that Harrison Ford, that Thunderbolt turns into the Red Hulk. I guess if you're a comic book fan, you know that. But I go like, you don't have to like sell it. No,
in the trailer.
exactly.
You can be like, it's happening now.
Yes.
Like, you can still have that impact. And it's like, Red Hulk, cool.
Yeah. But like throughout the film, they're almost playing it as if the audience don't know that he's going to eventually transform into the Hulk. So like there's parts where like, but then he'll be like, there'll be someone pressing him for an answer. And he's like, just leave me alone. And he smashes he hits his hand on the desk, and then the camera pans down and the desk is like marble and it's been cracked.
Oh, they do that?
Exactly. And then and everyone's like, oh, like it's so on the nose. There's also stuff like, Sam and the new Falcon, who was introduced in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they go and they break into some place to try and find something, right? And they break into like a prison. It's like a secret like government prison. They break in there, and then there's like a laboratory in there, right? And like already that's weird. There's a laboratory in a prison, right? But then they walk in and they're like, why is there a laboratory in this prison?
Why do you have to say that?
You don't have to say it. And then like
they tell and show.
Exactly.
Guys, like number one of like filmmaking, please show, don't tell.
Exactly.
If you show a lab in like a weird place, you don't need to say, this lab shouldn't be here. Like, yeah, we know that.
And there's a part like, there's like a big, like, there's like a ship battle. This is in the trailer as well. They're like, someone shoots a missile and it hits a ship, right? And then Captain America's flying over it. He's like, oh no, they're firing at our ships. And I'm like, we know. You just showed us. You know what I mean?
It's like, it feels like a kid's movie.
Exactly. I strongly suspect that this was written and pitched as The Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2. Because, and that would have made sense because all the different writers, and it almost feels like a couple of episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier stitched together. It's shot like a TV show, and I hate saying that, but it's shot. It feels like they
do want to do a second season suddenly because it didn't do that well, and now they're like, let's turn it into a movie.
And it was actually a very decent show.
I loved it. I loved it.
Look, I didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
It was
fair
good.
enough.
It was good enough that I watched all of it. Normally, I stop watching all the shows if it's
I watched Secret Invasion episode 1, and I'm like, I'm done.
I didn't even.
Bad.
Yeah, but anyway, so like at the end of the day, it felt like. I actually probably, if they hadn't cast Harrison Ford, if they maybe cast like a cheaper actor, let's say, this probably would have gone into Disney Plus as Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2. And that would have made more sense, in my opinion. So not good. Not to me, like, and the end credit scene, there's only one end credit scene, by the way. There's no mid credit scene, it's right at the end. So if you're listening to this and you want to wait or whatever, it has the least payoff of anything. Like
this is the one thing that you told us, the big reveal of the movie is that
no. This is something else completely. And it also contains this isn't the end credit scene. And you can tell the end credit scene, by the way, is shot a couple of actors on a green screen talking to each other, but they definitely weren't in the same room.
They just shot.
I think I saw somebody.
Basically, it's like a bit of a hint that Secret Invasion is starting, but we know because Secret Invasion has been.
There's a whole series.
Secret Wars. Sorry, not Secret Invasion. But like, we know. We know.
Yeah, it's not like a big...
Exactly. Yeah. And then like also there's one scene, and this is the last thing I'll say. I've been talking too much about this now. But like there's one scene where a character who we haven't seen in a very long time makes a cameo appearance. That actor was... I'm saying actor, it could be male or female. I'm not giving too much away here. Was definitely not on set. And what I mean by this is they used the body double and they used AI to put this person's face on there. 110%.
They did the whole compositing.
They only shot it in wide.
Yeah.
And
they sent like a voice note in on WhatsApp.
100%.
Yeah, they just got out the guy. Can we do this?
Yes, exactly. Okay, cool. Here's a couple 100,000 for using your face.
And then it was just...
So, and that took me out of it completely. It should have been a very cool cameo. And I'm just like, oh, fucking hell, look how bad this looks. You know what I mean? And like, honestly, when the film ended, when the end credit scene happened, like after the end credit scene happened and the lights came up, I was sitting quite close to the front of the cinema. There were a couple people sitting at the back. I literally said out loud, "Fuck off." And like it just came out. I'm just like, "Fuck off." And then people in the back like actually started laughing because I think they felt the same. Although there were a couple of people at the back like, "Woohoo," when certain things happen. I'm like, shut up. But anyway.
That doesn't sound like a woohoo worthy movie.
No. It was when there's another cameo in the movie, which, I mean, it wasn't a surprise to me at all. And then when that person came on screen, I was like, woo! And I'm like...
was the cinema full?
No, there were 4 of us. However, what I will say...
You did go early though.
I did go early.
We did an early show.
But yeah, so I did not like it at all. I will watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus again, because sometimes, like when I watch, let's say, Doctor Strange 2, I hated it when I watched it at the cinema.
Oh, I loved it.
I enjoyed it.
But then when I watched it on Disney Plus again, I was like, whoa, this is actually really cool.
Yeah. It's very Sam Raimi.
I love it. It's so fun.
And now I still have kind of high regard for it. It's a good film.
It's good. It's not perfect.
No.
It's not great.
But it's fun.
It's fun. It does what
it has a unique, and that's where Marvel dropped the ball recently again, because I think it started with Taika Waititi when they brought him in for Thor 3.
He makes it up for everybody.
He did.
They're not going to give anybody free.
No. But what I'm trying to say, I'm actually trying to say the opposite first. For Ragnarok.
Oh, Ragnarok was Ragnarok 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for Ragnarok,
that was good.
And I'm not saying Thor. I'm saying for Ragnarok. I'm not using an Afrikaans accent. For Ragnarok.
For Ragnarok.
He put his unique style on it, and it worked. Right?
100%.
Then I think Marvel like brought people like Sam Raimi in to put his unique style on it and stuff like that. But then Taika fucked it up for Love and Thunder. And now they've taken it back, and they're like,
they caught between like allowing directors to do their own thing and not.
Exactly. And
like do it, but also don't.
Also, Kevin Feige, just step down, man.
Like, maybe it's time for a change.
It's time for a change.
Just freshen it up.
Yeah. And I don't know if Bob Iger's like putting pressure on him to do certain things and stuff like that. But it's just, it hasn't been the last, I think every film post Endgame except for Far From Home. Whatever.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Yeah. I enjoyed Shang-Chi. I really
liked it. Is that post Endgame? It is.
Yes.
Okay.
That was
I didn't mind that either.
I
liked it. I didn't mind that either.
It was very good. That felt like what they
different
needed,
enough.
Just a standalone film that it does kind of tie in, but yeah.
Anyway, and then so that's that on that film. I didn't like it. Well done if you like it. Congratulations. I just didn't like it.